can see what's happened to the box. Holy sh**. And look at the pressure plate for the clutch as well. Good morning everybody, good morning everybody. It is episode 2 of the road to 10k. Everybody absolutely loved the first series on this. Sorry, we're a little bit overexposed. There we go. Did that help? Probably not. We're going to rock on. Everybody loved the first series of this and everybody can't wait for the series, and I can't wait for it as well. So today is going to be the first day we're going to be fixing a load of stuff. Find out what's wrong with it. I'm actually fixing what's wrong with it as well. As you can see, just in the corner of the eye, there is a new gearbox there. So we picked up a second-hand gearbox for £80. So I've actually got a proper Excel spreadsheet of everything that I've bought. So we're going to be literally working out to the penny how much everything's going to cost. So we've got a gearbox there, we've got that for 80 quid. So today we're going to be starting on the gearbox, and we're obviously going to start diving into engine management lights and stuff. I've actually had a quick look off camera of the engine management lights. So I'm going to show you them engine management lights today, and show you the parts that we've ordered. And I've actually started ordering little things just to help with the sale of the car. So first of all, let's get out a code reader and go and scan the codes, and let's find out what's actually wrong with the engine management lights. Okay, so to check the engine management lights, I am using Carly. I've always used Carly. Carly is great. Carly is basically your little tiny portable mechanic. So the OBD is down here. So what we're going to do is we're going to load Carly up, and we're going to show you what Carly has told us. Now, not only can we read codes of Carly, we can use their smart mechanic, and it tells you exactly what that code is, how to fix that code, and what are the symptoms of that code. So what we can do is we can press up here, we add a new car. We obviously just search in the Volkswagen, select the car, which is a Bora, and then we can press connect and then connect. Now what we're doing now is we're just scanning the car for codes. Okay, so this is what it found up. There's a very bad issue in the engine, and this is saying engine coolant temperature sensor signal too high. So we can actually go in smart mechanic, and this will tell us what causes this and what the issues are and how we can fix it. So consequences. One of these consequences is that it idles a bit rough, and there was one down here saying it possibly runs rich. Now that's what we're having. When we start it, it does run rich, and when we turn it off and on again, it actually idles quite rough and it struggles. So I've actually gone and ordered one of those coolant temperature sensors. I'll put here how much they were. I think it was like £5 or something. So we're going to change that today and then clear that code, and hopefully that fixes our running rich issue. You can actually go on coding. So this car's too old to do coding, but on the new ones like my Audi, there are so many things and little fun quirky bits you can code into the car. You can also go on live data, which is incredible. So what we could do, example, we could get the car up to temperature, and we could actually go in the live data for the coolant sensor and see what it's outputting. So let's log engine RPM, let's log engine coolant let's log engine coolant temperature sensor, let's log throttle position as well, and you can see there we've got engine RPM, which is revving as we rev the car. We've got throttle position, which revs as we rev the car, and it's saying we're at about 10 degrees Celsius, which is different to what the car's telling me. One more thing you can do as well in car, you can do a used car check. So when you go to a car, you can plug it in and it tells you how the car's been driven, what sort of mileage it's done, if there's any mileage discrepancies, and then also you can do the scan of the engine management lights and all the ABS and all the gearbox codes and everything to see if anything's been hidden. So thank you, Carly, for sponsoring this video. There's a link in the description to get a discount through me. Thanks, Carly. Let's get back to this car. Right, but we're not doing a whole video on how to change the temperature sensor. So let's start taking everything off, because we need to get this gearbox off today. So when taking the gearbox off, the main thing is really to get the battery out of the way, get the airbox out of the way, get everything on top of the gearbox out of the way. That way you can easily get to the linkages and you can easily get to the starter motor and stuff. I've heard that they're not too bad on these, and the drive shaft is already off the gearbox on this side. So what we have to do, take everything away from the box, take the hub out, because remember we can't get them, can't get the hub nut off. We're going to take the drive shaft off with the hub, and then gearbox bolts, and it should slide out from underneath here if we've got enough room. Okay, so the battery's out. That's the airbox out, and we can slowly start seeing everything in the gearbox now. So we just need to get this battery tray off here, which is just looks like 3 10mm at the bottom, and then pretty much there's the box. So when you're at this position, it might be good to start taking some pictures of things, because you've got quite a lot of connectors, and it's just good to remember which way the slave goes on, and just take some pictures just so you know. Because like little connectors like there, which you might think, where the hell does that go to? So we need to take off the linkages. So you've got these two little clips here, so you probably just slide them off. Linkages will come away. Luckily on this, the slave cylinder is external, So this is a slave cylinder here, and it just bolts to the gearbox, so we can just remove that. We don't need to deal with bleeding the clutch. We can just put that back on. Just make sure that you don't press the buddy clutch inside whilst the slave cylinder's off. So let's take these selectors off. Let's remove the bolts for the slave, and then we can start jacking the engine up and taking the gearbox bolts off. Okay, so there's a bracket here holding the gear selectors on, and there's 3 bolts, so just unbolt that and we should just be able to slide that out the way. So most things off the box, you've got the slave just sat here like this. Everything's pretty much off. The wire ends off here, so we just need to get off the gearbox bolts. So there'll be gearbox bolts on this side, and then there'll be some gearbox bolts on the back. We also need to take off the other side of the drive shafts as well, which we're going to have to do from underneath the car. Once all them are ready to come, we need to hold the engine up, or just get it on a jack so we don't just, you know, the whole engine will just drop when we drop the gearbox. We need to get the wheel off, and we need to get the hub off. I tried literally my hardest to try and get this hub nut off, and this hub nut is not coming off. It will not come off, trust me. So the drive shaft is already away from the gearbox there, so we're just going to pull the hub and the strut away as one. I think that's the best thing to do, because we can actually get the ball joint off in these 3 bolts here at the bottom. We're going to have to unbolt this air conditioning line, or whatever it is, power steering line, whatever that is, that needs to come away. And then the bolts, drive shaft, and then we're going to have to figure out a way, hopefully, we can just drop it out through here. Okay, so I've just dropped the hub out the way there, so it's just sitting on the battery. So we've got room for the gearbox. This power steering line's ready to come out the way. The drive shaft's off there, so most of the stuff now is really out the way. We've got things off there, the starter's ready to come off. The only thing we've got to do now is just get under here and take off these drive shaft bolts, which should be a lot easier, because we should be able to just get in here with a ratchet just like this, instead of having to go all the way through the wheel arch. Once that drive shaft's out the way, we can start pulling all the gearbox mounts off and get it off, which is going to be tough on my own on the drive, but we're going to do this, boys. So with these ones under here, you have to put a bolt in the end, otherwise if you do this trick, stop the brake spinning, the brake disc just turns, so you've got to put a bolt into the whole drive shaft to stop turn. So got 4 of them out here, just had to just move it around. Just got to get the last 2, and they're an M10 spline. Taking off the last gearbox bolt now, and it is for the starter nut. I believe it's the last one anyway, so we can just hold the starter up here. Oh fuck's sake, it's a new glove. Just hold the starter up here. Oh, it's so annoying, it's like too tight for your hand, too loose for a fucking socket. All we got now is the 2 gearbox mounts here, and then we should be able to pull it out. Right, here we go. Here's the fun part. To support the engine, really. Let me just kick the jack over there to the engine. So we don't want that lying on the bloody mount. Right, here it comes. Don't know how I'm going to get underneath it. I think this way, maybe. What are we on here? What the fuck are we on? Right, I think it's coming out. But the engine's come out, the engine mount and everything. This has been an absolute nightmare, I'm not going to lie. It's the dog bone mount, but I'll show you an issue in a minute. Pretty much here now, I just need to wedge it out. You can see what's happened to the box. Oh my god. Look at the big fucking hole there. That hole, not sure if you know this, but that hole shouldn't be there, guys. Holy shit, so all the metal's just gone boom, straight down in there and just probably just locked up the diff. What's leaking out there? What the fuck's leaking out there? What's that? Great, so something's just, I think the power steering line's just broke, or I'm not sure. So it got a big hole on the top of it. Oh, I think there's a big hole on the top of it. I think I need a new one of them. And look at the pressure plate for the clutch as well. Oh my god. I don't know what's happened. Something not fucking good though. Right, let's just whack the clutch off and have a look at the pressure plate and at the state of the clutch as well. What the fuck has gone on there? snapped off. Actually, so what's happened is obviously these grooves sit in here and this one's snapped. Okay, so one of the biggest issues as to why the bolts are so hard to get out was because I couldn't get this dog bowl mount off. So this bolt came off easy, and this one, as you can see, it's obviously snapped in there, which is going to be a bastard. But it is literally, I can't get it off. I can't get it off because it's like just stuck to that bolt on that side. And I need this to come off. It's going to be a pain in the arse to get the new gearbox in, and I'm obviously going to have to get this bolt thread off. It's coming, it's coming. Just fighting with the screwdriver. Yes! Yes! Be able to get the gearbox in a lot easier now because I can just come straight down. But I need to find a way to de-thread this. Just try and thread it out with a pair of vice grips. Let's try that. Okay, good news. Yes, I've got it out. Yes! Thank God. I just got some vice grips on and I was right. It was actually welded, or you know, it was rusted into the dog bowl mount, not the actual thread. So that's good news. We just need to get a long bolt and we can reuse that dog bowl mount. It means we don't need to find another one of them. But what we do need to find is a power steering line, because where I thought it's got a tiny little crack in, it was probably just rusty, and us constantly moving it around just cracked it. So we need to find a new power steering line as well from somewhere, which is a bit annoying, but it's not the end of the world. So just finding a new front power steering line. I need to see where it actually unbolts off. So that's the line, comes all the way on the bottom of the gearbox. It's just cracked going into the steering rack. So we need to get a new one of them. It shouldn't be too difficult. I think there was some bolt up here somewhere. Oh yeah, going in right into the pump there. So while we're here, the pressure sensor is literally right here. So we're pretty sure it's just on a little retaining clip. I think this little bit here is a retaining clip. We'll pop that out and then we'll pick up this and put the new one in. Sometimes it's apparently wiring that causes it as well. So what we'll do is we'll have a quick look at the wiring. It looks okay to me. And what I have found on this strut, I know why the brake light is on, because got a crack in the wiring there for the brake pad sensor. So we need to rewire that, and we'll just pop this out and put the new sensor in now, and then that's done. So there we go. There's the old one. It looks pretty bad, to be fair. Just pop it in, bung the clip in, and that's good to go. Okay, so we need to order a clutch. I am looking. I found one which is quite cheap. I just need to make sure, and it is the same engine code, but it's not saying it fits a bora, so I'm not sure. I've messaged them, they're going to check for me on the reg anyway. Because the ones in Euro car parts are like 180 quid, and online they're like 80 quid. So I'm going to see if I can get one online, but just need to make sure it is going to fit this engine. It's tough because I don't know much about these engines, so although it's an AUM engine code, I don't know if that's different for different models and it is the same clutch. I would assume so, but I need to double check. I've just spent some time changing all the gearboxes over. So I've put the selectors on the gearbox, I've put the fork on, I've put everything on there, so that's ready to go. I'll also just change the release bearing when the new kit comes with one. But it'd be good, it actually will be good, because it'd be nice to say it's had a brand new clutch and a, you know, new gearbox, brand new clutch and everything like that. So it'd be good for the person next, instead of just using an old clutch. I know that a lot of people would have been like, oh, you should have just changed the clutch when you're in there. So I'm doing it now anyway. The little things I bought to help the sale, I'll show you them in the next video when we're actually coming to sell the car. So for now, I love you all. It's been a tough day, but it should be a lot easier getting it on now. I've got that dog bowl mount off. But I love you all, and we'll see you in the next one.